My estranged sister tried to steal my lottery winnings, but my dead grandfather's will had other plans. I'm 32F, still reeling from everything that's happened in the last few weeks, and I don't even know where to begin. My life has been a whirlwind of emotions, betrayals, and shocking revelations. It all started with a lottery ticket, a seemingly insignificant purchase that turned my entire world upside down. Let's rewind a bit. I've always had a strained relationship with my family, particularly with my older sister, Amelia, 35F. Growing up, Amelia was always the golden child. She was beautiful, popular, and excelled at everything she did. I, on the other hand, was the quiet, artistic one, often overshadowed and overlooked. My parents, bless their hearts, never intentionally favored Amelia, but their praise and attention always seemed to gravitate towards her. It created a deep-seated resentment in me, something I've tried to work through over the years, but it never fully goes away. A few years ago, Amelia and I had a massive falling out. It was over something trivial, a misunderstanding about a shared family heirloom, but it escalated quickly, fueled by years of unspoken grievances and unresolved issues. We said terrible things to each other, things that can't be unsaid, and since then, we've been mostly estranged. We'd see each other at major family events, but our interactions were minimal, polite, and undeniably cold. I honestly thought that was how our relationship would always be. My life, despite the family drama, was pretty good. I have a stable job as a graphic designer, a cozy apartment, and a wonderful group of friends who are like family to me. I'm not rich, but I'm comfortable. I enjoy my quiet life, pursuing my hobbies, and cherishing the peace I found. Then came the lottery ticket. It was a spur-of-the-moment purchase from a convenience store on my way home from work. I rarely play the lottery, but that day, something just told me to buy one. I picked random numbers, stuffed the ticket into my wallet, and promptly forgot about it. A week later, I was cleaning out my wallet and stumbled upon it. On a whim, I checked the numbers online. My heart practically stopped when I saw them. All 6 numbers matched. I had won $12 million. I stared at the screen, my mind unable to process what I was seeing. $12 million. My hands were shaking so much I could barely hold my phone. It felt surreal, like a dream. I triple-checked the numbers, then had my best friend, Sarah, check them too. Her gasp and subsequent scream confirmed it. I was a millionaire. The first person I wanted to tell was my grandfather, my dad's father. He was the only person in my family who truly understood me, who always encouraged my artistic pursuits and made me feel seen. He was my rock, my confidant, and my biggest supporter. Unfortunately, my grandfather had passed away a few months prior, and the grief was still a raw wound. I wished more than anything that I could share this news with him, see his proud smile. I decided to keep the winnings a secret for a while. I wanted to consult with financial advisors, make a plan, and wrap my head around this life-altering sum of money before telling anyone else in my family. I knew how my family could be, and I wanted to protect myself and my newfound fortune. However, secrets have a way of getting out. I told Sarah, of course, and my boyfriend, Mark. They were both incredibly supportive and excited for me. Mark even helped me research financial advisors and lawyers. We were being discreet, or so I thought. The leak came from an unexpected source, my Aunt Carol, my mom's sister. She's notorious for her gossip and inability to keep anything to herself. I have no idea how she found out, but she did. Perhaps she overheard me talking to Sarah on the phone, or maybe she saw me with a lottery official. I really don't know. All I know is that within days, the entire family knew. The first call I received was from my mother. Her voice was uncharacteristically sweet, almost syrupy. "Darling, is it true? About the lottery?" she asked, her tone laced with an excitement I rarely heard directed at me. I admitted it was true, trying to keep my voice calm. That's when the floodgates opened. "Oh, sweetie, that's wonderful. You know, your sister Amelia has been going through such a tough time lately," she began, and my heart sank. I knew where this was going. Her business isn't doing so well, and she's been so stressed. This money would be a real godsend for her. You know, to help her get back on her feet." I was stunned. Not even a congratulations for me, just an immediate plea for Amelia. I politely but firmly told her that I hadn't made any decisions about the money yet and needed time. My mother didn't take kindly to that. Her tone quickly changed, becoming colder. "After everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us? By being selfish? Amelia needs this money more than you do. She's always been the responsible one, the one with ambition." I ended the call, my hands trembling with a mixture of anger and hurt. It was the same old story. Amelia was always the priority. Then came the calls and messages from other family members. My Aunt Carol, my Uncle Tom, even distant cousins I hadn't spoken to in years, all suddenly reappeared, full of well wishes and thinly veiled requests for money. The most aggressive was, of course, Amelia. She called me directly, bypassing the usual pleasantries. "So, the little mouse finally caught a piece of cheese. Huh?" she sneered. "Don't think for a second you're going to keep that all to yourself. I know you've always been jealous of me, but this is ridiculous. I deserve that money more than you do." I was speechless. Deserve it? What gives you the right to say you deserve my lottery winnings? I finally managed to sputter out. "Because I'm the older sister. I've always had to pave the way for you, deal with all the pressure. And honestly, what are you going to do with that much money? Buy more art supplies? You'll just squander it. I have a business, a future. This money would actually make a difference for me." Her words were like daggers, cutting deep into old wounds. The bitterness and entitlement in her voice were palpable that I hung up on her. I couldn't listen to it anymore. I felt violated, like my good fortune had been tainted by their greed. Mark was furious on my behalf, urging me to cut them all off. Sarah, ever the pragmatist, advised me to secure my finances and consult with a lawyer about my options. That I did just that. I met with a lawyer who specialized in protecting assets, and he advised me on setting up trusts and other legal protections to ensure my money was safe. He also suggested sending a formal letter to my family, informing them that I would not be distributing any of my winnings at this time. It was a drastic step, but I felt it was necessary. The letter, predictably, ignited a firestorm. My phone exploded with angry calls and texts. My mother accused me of being heartless. My father, usually reserved, even called to express his disappointment in my selfishness. Amelia sent a particularly nasty text, threatening to make my life a living hell if I didn't share that I blocked all of them. It was a painful decision, but I needed peace. I couldn't enjoy my good fortune with their constant badgering and emotional manipulation. Then came the kicker. A few days after I blocked them, I received a certified letter from a law firm I didn't recognize. My heart pounded as I opened it. It was a notice that Amelia was suing me. She was claiming that my lottery winnings rightfully belonged to her, citing some obscure family custom where the eldest child has a claim to significant family windfalls. It was absurd, baseless, and frankly, hilarious in its audacity. My lawyer, however, did not find it funny. He assured me it was a frivolous lawsuit and would be easily dismissed, but it would still be a hassle. He also suggested we look into any existing family documents that might shed light on inheritances or family agreements, just to be thorough. This made me think of my grandfather. He was a meticulous man, always organized and prepared. I remembered him mentioning, years ago, that he had a special provision in his will for me. At the time, I thought he was just being sweet, maybe leaving me a small trinket or a sentimental item. I certainly didn't expect it to become relevant in this circus. I called the executor of my grandfather's will, a kind old family friend named Mr. Henderson. I explained the situation with Amelia's lawsuit and asked if there was anything in my grandfather's will that might be relevant to the current family drama, particularly regarding inheritances or financial windfalls. Henderson sounded a bit surprised but agreed to review the will again, specifically looking for any clauses that might pertain to my situation. He called me back a few days later, and his voice was filled with a mixture of amusement and solemnity. "My dear," he began, "your grandfather was a very wise man, and it seems he anticipated a situation not unlike the one you're currently facing." He then proceeded to tell me about a specific clause in my grandfather's will, one he had added just a few years before his passing. This clause stated that in the event of any significant unexpected financial windfall received by any of his grandchildren, if that windfall was obtained without direct family assistance or investment, and if there were any subsequent disputes or claims from other family members regarding that windfall, then the entirety of that grandchild's portion of his inheritance would be immediately transferred into a protected trust specifically for that grandchild. Furthermore, it explicitly stated that any family member attempting to claim such a windfall would forfeit their own portion of his inheritance, which would then be evenly distributed among the remaining beneficiaries who had not made such a claim. That I was floored. My grandfather, the wise, quiet man I adored, had seen this coming. He knew my family, he knew Amelia, and he had created a safety net for me, even from beyond the grave. It was an incredible act of foresight and love. But there was more. Mr. Henderson then explained the second, even more significant part of the clause. My grandfather, it turned out, was a very wealthy man. He had always lived modestly, so no one in the family truly understood the extent of his fortune. He had made shrewd investments throughout his life, and his estate was worth significantly more than anyone had imagined. And in that same clause, he had designated me as the primary beneficiary of a substantial portion of his estate, specifically a portfolio of investments worth, wait for it, another $10 million. The condition? It would only be unlocked and transferred to me if a specific scenario played out. If I ever received a significant, unexpected financial windfall, like a lottery win, and another family member attempted to lay claim to it through legal means, specifically claiming entitlement based on familial hierarchy or perceived need. The irony was astounding. Amelia's greedy, baseless lawsuit, intended to seize my lottery winnings, had inadvertently triggered a clause in my grandfather's will that not only protected my lottery money but also granted me an additional $10 million, effectively punishing her and rewarding me. I sat there, listening to Mr. Henderson, a profound sense of awe washing over me. My grandfather had always been my protector, even in death. He had anticipated the worst of my family and had taken steps to shield me from my T.M. My lawyer was ecstatic. "This changes everything," he exclaimed. "Not only does it nullify Amelia's claim, but it also gives us significant leverage. We can file a countersuit, demanding she pay for legal fees and seeking damages for emotional distress, given her baseless claims and harassment. And with this new inheritance, your position is unassailable." I decided to take the high road, at least initially. I instructed my lawyer to inform Amelia's legal team about the clause in my grandfather's will. I didn't want to drag this out in court, I just wanted it to end. The response from Amelia's lawyers was swift. They immediately dropped the lawsuit. I can only imagine the conversation they had with her. The news, of course, spread like wildfire through the family.my phone, which I had unblocked to receive updates from my lawyer, started ringing off the hook again. This time, the tone was different. My mother called, her voice trembling. "Sweetie, I had no idea about your grandfather's will. Amelia is devastated. She says she didn't mean any of it." I cut her off. "Mom, please. This isn't about Amelia's feelings right now. It's about years of being overlooked, of being told I wasn't good enough, and now being attacked for my own good fortune." My father called, sounding genuinely remorseful. "I'm so sorry, honey. Your mother and we didn't realize how much you were hurting. Your grandfather clearly saw something we missed." Even Amelia called, her voice devoid of its usual aggression, replaced by a defeated whine. "Look, I know I messed up. I was just stressed, and I got greedy. Can't we just pretend this never happened? We are family, right?" I listened to her, the years of hurt and anger bubbling to the surface. "No, Amelia," I said, my voice firm. "We can't just pretend this never happened. You tried to steal from me, Not once, but twice. You sued me for money you believed you deserved more than I did. And now that it's backfired spectacularly, you want to be family. I told her that my lottery winnings were staying with me, and my grandfather's inheritance was also mine, protected by the very clause she had triggered. I also informed her that, as per my grandfather's will, her portion of his inheritance had been forfeited and would be distributed among the other beneficiaries who hadn't made claims against me. This meant my aunt and uncle would receive a bit more, which I found somewhat ironic, as they were also quite demanding. The silence on the other end of the line was deafening. I could practically hear her mind reeling, realizing the full extent of her miscalculation. I need time, I told her, and the rest of my family. A lot of time. I need to heal from this, and I need to figure out what kind of relationship, if any, I want to have with all of you moving forward. And that's where I am now. I have $12 million from the lottery and an additional $10 million from my grandfather's will. I'm financially secure for life, a dream I never even dared to have. But the emotional cost has been immense. The betrayal, the greed, the sudden shift in my family's demeanor, it's all left a bitter taste that I've decided to move to a new city, start fresh. Mark is incredibly supportive and plans to come with me. I want to build a life where I'm surrounded by genuine people, away from the toxic dynamics of my family. I'm going to invest wisely, set up a foundation in my grandfather's name to support young artists, and finally pursue my passion for painting without the constant pressure of making it a livelihood. I know some people might say I should forgive my family, that blood is thicker than water. But honestly, after everything, I don't feel that way right now. My grandfather, in his wisdom, taught me that sometimes protecting yourself and honoring your own worth is more important than clinging to relationships that consistently bring you pain. I'm still processing everything, still grieving the loss of the family I thought I had, but also filled with an incredible sense of gratitude for my grandfather. He truly was a remarkable man, and his love continues to guide me, even from beyond the grave. I'm ready for this new chapter, whatever it may bring. I just hope I can find peace and happiness away from the drama and the constant reminders of what my family truly became when money entered the picture. I am going to make sure to honor my grandfather's memory in everything I do. He always believed in me, and now, more than ever, I feel his presence, his quiet strength, guiding me forward.